Are you ready?
Welcome to the latest episode of TDs and Beer.
What did you say?
TDs, touchdowns. It's a sports show. Welcome to the latest episode of TDs and Beer Podcast with your hosts, Dylan and Andy.
MMA. You got any MMA news?
No, but I'll talk about. I basically bet the underdogs in the title fights.
In the title fights, you bet all the underdogs?
Yep.
Okay. So I was planning,
it's not likely, but
yeah, I was planning a parlay because last time we had a 3 title fight card, I bet the parlay on them and I hit. So I was going to do that again. I was going to take
on all the favorites.
No, just who I think is going to take it.
Okay.
So I was going to take Shevchenko and Rose and Usman. And Rose is actually an underdog, but the other two are heavy favorites.
Yeah. Roses, they're almost a pick.
It's almost a pick 'em. Yeah, I think it's like what, plus 115?
120. 120 is what I've seen, but
okay.
115 makes sense. So very close to a pick 'em, but yeah, I took all 3 of the underdogs in there.
Cool.
Yeah, obviously not very likely.
No,
the one I definitely think is a loss is the Usman one. Because I
probably.
don't. Well, I mean, Masvidal could do one punch knockout, but that's just not very likely. And then, I think Usman is on a whole nother skill level than Masvidal.
I would have to agree. I think that Andrade one, or however you pronounce her name, is
Andrade
is probably the least likely to pull it off.
You think?
Because Shevchenko is almost on the level of Nunes.
Okay.
But getting back to the Usman Masvidal fight, so the last time these guys faced, it was a 2-week notice, and I remember reading
for Masvidal.
Yeah, for Masvidal. Because
Usman was going to fight somebody, but
Usman was going to fight Burns, and Burns got COVID, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So yeah, Masvidal had 2 weeks to prepare, and he said that he wasn't in talks and contract talks at the time, so he was walking around at like 205. And had to cut 35 pounds in 2 weeks.
He basically did everything he could to get to weight and not prepare for the fight.
But yeah, basically all he did was watch film and sit in the sauna. I mean, that's it.
Yep.
And so you have to think that this time Masvidal is going to be more prepared for this fight. But Usman had a broken nose going into that fight last time too. So and Usman was.
Don't they always have broken noses?
I mean, probably. Yeah, that's a good.
That doesn't seem that's
a good call.
Like I know, like one fight. I'm sure lots of fighters have gone through injuries in their fights, but like, McGregor one fight had an ACL tear.
Oof, that would be hard to fucking fight on.
Well, it wasn't. I don't think it was too bad. I mean, obviously it's hard to fight on, but basically he just couldn't kick with that one leg.
Yeah.
But from what I remember in the documentary, it wasn't even. He won the fight. I think it was against like the Mendez or Mini Mendez or whatever you remember.
Yeah, I remember. I remember you talking about it. I never saw it, but. If you wouldn't talk about it so often, I would have never knew it happened.
Okay.
But anyway, after that Usman Masvidal fight, Usman ended up hospitalized with COVID. Probably got it from Burns because they're teammates.
Face-offs and stuff. Yeah, that and they were teammates.
I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
We'll have to see if or how that affects him in this fight.
Yeah, I think Usman is Well, I guess what I should say is I don't think Masvidal is really that great of a fighter. He's similar to McGregor in that he's super entertaining.
Yeah.
But maybe not the best.
Yeah. I guess that McGregor comparison is a pretty good one. I was going to say he's a smart fighter, but I don't think he's as smart as McGregor is, though. So,
no, probably not. I think McGregor's a better fighter than Masvidal, but I'm just saying,
yeah, no,
neither are like the greatest fighters ever.
No, yeah,
Masvidal isn't even as well rounded as McGregor, and McGregor isn't all that well rounded.
yeah,
So, Usman can beat you pretty much anywhere.
yep. And actually, speaking of Masvidal, here's another piece that I saw. Where'd it go? I saw it on Twitter. I guess I didn't save it, but
Okay.
he had shit to talk about Jake Paul. I'm going to try to remember the quote as best I can.
Go ahead. Did you see that Dana White is talking about suing Jake Paul if he won't shut his mouth about UFC fighters? He said none of these motherfuckers are ever going to fight you. He's like, go fight a fucking boxer.
Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
I don't know. Both of them probably.
Probably.
Jake Paul's the one that fought
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren. So him probably.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to call out
that's who I assume.
DC.
Yeah. I think you said Logan Paul though, so
oh sorry. Remember when this all started going down and we got all that mixed up?
Yeah. We got it mixed up.
They were the same guy.
No, I knew they were different guys. I just totally got them mixed up. Because I knew Jake Paul was the better fighter, so I assumed that he was the one fighting Mayweather, but he wasn't.
Nah. That would make too much sense.
And actually that fight has been rescheduled for June 5th now. So
okay.
Mayweather Logan Paul, June 5th. That's all we
care
have to
as
say
much about that
now.
one as I did about him fighting Ben Askren.
It was Jake Paul fighting Ben Askren.
I know.
Okay. And that actually broke 1 million pay-per-view purchases. 1 million people bought that fight.
$80 a pop.
Oh, fuck. And it was such low budget. I mean, you saw highlights of it at least, right?
Yeah, I seen it.
That was terrible. Fucking when Ben Askren came out to the ring, they literally had a cardboard sign that said, "This is Ben."
Nuh-uh.
Yes. The whole fucking thing was third-rate production.
He had like the greatest dad bod ever.
Yeah. Saw somewhere somebody described it as Ben Askren was built like a substitute teacher.
That's so true.
Oh, fucking love it. But anyway, Jake Paul didn't call out Masvidal. Masvidal had something to say about Jake Paul. He said that Jake Paul isn't going to call me out. I didn't grow up on the Disney Channel. I grew up on the wrestling mat. I grew up in a boxing gym. I grew up fighting. So no, Jake Paul is not going to call me out. Basically what he had to say.
Yeah. Masvidal is the kind of guy that would try to kill you.
Yeah.
In the streets. You're like,
yeah. I think either one of these Pauls would be stupid as fuck to call out Masvidal.
Or Diaz for that matter.
Or Diaz. That would almost be dumber, I think.
It would. It would. Well, maybe, yeah.
I
guarantee you both of them walk around with guns at their way. I mean, they're fucking licensed gangsters is what they are.
I take that back though, because I feel like after the fight, as long as the check cleared for Diaz, he would be totally cool and like split a bag of weed with you or something. I don't think Masvidal would do that.
Probably not.
Couple more pieces of MMA news. Dana White said after this Masvidal Usman fight, the winner will face Colby Covington next. Got anything to say about that?
No, I really don't. Nah, I don't get it. That it makes sense. It's the next progression, right?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not a big fan of Covington.
I'm not either, but
I am a fan of when champions lose. I like them getting an immediate rematch, though. And this already means that if Masvidal wins, Usman doesn't get his immediate rematch, which I don't care for that. Not that I think Masvidal's going to win, but
I would imagine that Dana isn't expecting Masvidal to win.
Yeah, probably.
But he may alter that if Masvidal wins. Because then you got to go with the trilogy. I mean, you have to. It's the next fight. I mean,
yep, I agree.
Stupid not to.
I agree.
Especially because if Masvidal wins, it won't be because he picked Usman apart, like for 5 rounds. It'll be in spectacular fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be fucking knockout or
flying knee in the first 3 seconds.
Yeah, it'll be something crazy. And you'll be left wanting more. I guarantee you that.
Yep.
Now, if Usman has his way and dominates Masvidal for 5 rounds like he did last time, we won't want anymore.
No.
So Colby Covington will be the next guy up.
Yeah, so. I see. That makes total sense. Ronda Rousey. You hear this?
She's pregnant.
Her and Travis Brown.
Good for her.
So when that baby arrives and the doctor goes to smack it on the back to make it cry, it's gonna get knocked out.
Oh, that's terrible.
They both got weak chins. Come on. You know it.
That is terrible.
You know it's
true.
That is
funny as hell. They both got weak chins. No truer statement has ever been made on our podcast. Oh my god. Did you come up with that, or did you hear that somewhere?
No, I came up with that. That's
pretty good.
That was my first thought when I saw that.